Good evening and welcome to Putnam County Sports Talk. We are your hosts. I'm Jared Jernigan.
King Gardner.
And we have a pretty big week in sports here, so we'll get right down to it. First of all, Kane, we got some big news on Tuesday when ISU announced that they will be hiring former North Putnam coach Greg Barrett as an assistant at the football program.
Yep.
So what can you tell me? You talked to Coach Barrett yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, he said it was one of those decisions that came kind of quick, but it was one that he had to get on board quickly with. Program seems to be making some pretty good strides. Right at around 500 last year, but there's been a lot of chatter on talk radio lately about how they could put together a pretty good season this year. So unfortunately they start out with Penn State. So that'll be a good experience, and if they can hang with them, that would be quite nice because Penn State is always a top-notch program. So, but yeah, Coach Barrett, he talked about how much the community and the time that he spent here and spent with the players and just being involved in the North Putnam, school corporation has meant to him and everything. But with his home base being kind of in the Terre Haute area, I think it's a good move for him. He'll definitely be missed by the players up there. But like he said, he talked to him on Friday and they understood the move. So.
Right. Well, and the success he's had will certainly be missed. I mean, 33-5 in his 3 years, and making it to the state finals last year. Yeah. So, I know that's kind of a blow for the community. I know. So
yeah, and like you said, though, they have a good group of seniors coming back. Mm-hmm. So he, from talking to him, he doesn't really expect to see them, come off at all. He thinks that it'll kind of be business as usual.
Okay.
So,
well, we'll certainly wait to find out in the fall. And also, in other state finalist news, we had Donnie Helterbrand at the state finals of wrestling last week. So,
yes.
Can you tell me how that went for Donnie?
Well, he opened up Friday with a win, and then came back Saturday morning to begin the second day of the tournament, and unfortunately began the day with 2 losses. So that put him in the 7th place bracket to go for 7th place, which would equal the best finish for a Cloverdale wrestler in school history. So, talking to Coach Livingston after the fact, he said that Donnie pretty much went into that final match with a, losing is not an option kind of mentality. So, he went in there and, battled the kid pretty well, and then I believe it was in the second period, got him tied up a little bit, and then was able to do a little leg sweep, put the kid right on his back, and get the pin for the win for 7th place. So, overall it was a very good tournament for him. I know the competitor that he is, he would have liked to have finished higher than 7th place to have that, where he was the guy, at Cloverdale. But, being the seventh, considered the 7th best wrestler in the state of Indiana in your weight division is not too bad. Like Coach Livingston said, a lot of times you're at the mercy of the draw in your bracket, and he had a very tough bracket. So, he got 7th place and should be very proud of that. And he had a very, very big cheering section, which was awesome because, being from a small school, you got a lot of other bigger schools up there, and they were loud, very loud. So it was a very cool experience. I'm sure not only for them but for myself being up there. So.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and, you got some pretty big stuff going on yourself with state swimming.
Yes, actually we'll start with, we had sectional last week, and the Greencastle boys came in with some pretty high hopes of actually winning that sectional, and came pretty close to it. They only finished 7 points behind Southmont to finish 2nd in the sectional, but basically they took a big blow right at the beginning. Thursday night at prelims, their medley relay team, a team they actually thought they could place in the top 16 of the state, hopefully, got disqualified. Yeah. And so relays are big points, and so that was tough. But after that, they battled back, and really just some great performances from all around the county. I mean, Greencastle was 2nd, but South Putnam was 6th, and North Putnam was 7th, and that's not really where I don't think anybody really expected those 2 teams in those positions either. And really, South Putnam was just 7 points out of 4th place.
Right.
And that's that's pretty rarefied stuff, and I mean just really not where they expected to be. Coach Karras was pretty overwhelmed by that, knowing she actually got some votes for Coach of the Year, and she was really, really overwhelmed finding that out. But from that, we did have some kids move on. First of all, diving, you advanced to regional, and we had Sam Gold finish second in diving of South Putnam, and Matt Sims of Greencastle finished third, and the top 4 go on. So Tuesday night, they were in action at the diving regional at Zionsville, where Sims finished 15th and Gold was 17th. So both those kids are underclassmen. They and their coaches talked about they want to be back next year. They've got their eyes set on making it to state next year. So, more power to them. There are several seniors above them, and I see nothing but improvement for those 2 kids. And then in swimming, you advanced straight to state, and Greencastle had 3 individual performances. 2 from Jay Guffey. Jay swam a 21:69 in the 50 free, so he's actually seated 15th in the state, which is a pretty good place to be in the 50. And in the 100, he is seated, I believe, 33rd in the state, so a little farther down, but I think the coach still has some good hopes for him there. And then Nash Fireball, who's a freshman, we've talked about this before, he is 25th in the state in the 100 butterfly. So, that's a kid getting some early experience there at the state. And then finally, Greencastle did come back. They were kind of able to redeem some of that on the relay stuff, and they won the 400 free relay. So the team of Jesse Elkins, Mitchell Ball, Walter Chiarella, and Guffey, they're going on to state where they are seated 30th out of 32 teams. So that'll be a nice experience for all 5 of those Tiger Sharks there. So. And then, obviously, it's still February. We still have some basketball action going on. We had a makeup game of a county game that should have been going on during the ice storm, as I recall. So, South Putnam defeated North Putnam 58-42, only the Eagles' 2nd win of the year. How did that go for them?
It was by far their best performance of the year. I mean, from what I've seen. I was not at the Lighthouse Christian game, so I can't really talk about that. That was their other win of the season, but from the tip, they just, from what I had seen them earlier in the season and throughout the season, just looked totally different. I mean, they were very vocal, they were attacking, they were really causing North Putnam, which is a very athletic team, they were causing them a lot of trouble. So, and North was a little flat coming out, I think, a little bit. Coach Martindale talked a little bit after the game about, he was a little bit surprised to see that they didn't have as much passion in that game with it being a county, inter-county rival. So, that was too bad. But I mean, South Putnam they played lights out. Corey Stanton went off in the 3rd quarter and scored 11 second-half points to kind of spur him on. Justin Baumgardner, he played a really good game. I can't remember exactly how many points he scored, but some really key rebounds, and there was actually one rebound. I can't remember the North Putt player who got it, but he got it, basically had control of it, and Justin was able to just tip it away, get it to the floor, get it back out, and get the offense going, and then they scored again. So, a really good game for South Putt to have right before their sectional begins. So, and being on their home court where their sectional will take place. It's good to get that. Yeah. And then the Cougars were able to, kind of gather the troops and get a win the next night. An exciting game with South Vermillion. Yeah. I wasn't at that one, but I heard that the last 30 seconds was something else. So I wish I had been there. But James Hedrick, which is you usually look at him for the scoring, and that's what he's known for. Very good defender, and he actually made a block as the time expired to kind of preserve the win. And things got a little hectic from what I heard, but the Cougars were able to get that win, and that's nice to rebound the night after suffering a loss that you could tell they were all pretty disappointed in. Get that win, and then kind of get everything kind of set and settled, heading into sectional next week. So. We do have, the sectional draws did come out on Sunday, and those will go on next week. Everybody's here in the county this year. Yes. We have, at South Putnam, we've got North Putnam and Cloverdale opening Tuesday at 6 p.m.
And that's a game in that matchup. Cloverdale won that 49-45 on January 21st. And then the next night, the host Eagles will face Tri-West at 6 as well. And the Bruins won that game 52-24 during the season. And then in 3A action at Greencastle this year, Greencastle opens at 7 p.m. in the only game of the night against Edgewood. And the winner will face Sullivan, who had a first-round bye. And Greencastle lost that season matchup to the Mustangs 59-48.
Yep.
And from there it goes on to the semifinals on Friday night, and both the tournaments wrap up at 7:30 p.m. Saturday with the sectional championship game. So I believe that is a total of 15 teams will be in action right here in Putnam County. So if you don't have anything to do next week, it's your fault.
I'll say even if you have something to do, you need to get out. Good athletes, good teams, no excuse. Everything's taking place in county.
Absolutely.
Cancel what you're doing, get out, support the kids, and
which is
watch
very
some
nice
really
in
good.
that 3A sectional. We sometimes have
Yeah.
some long road trips in
Yeah.
that far-flung sectional. So.
And sports editors and sports writers really appreciate when the games are closer. So.
And let me tell you, IHSA, you're getting it right. Keep it at McAnally. It's a great place to have a tournament.
Couldn't agree more.
So that pretty much takes care of us for the week. So we will see you next week, hopefully in an early week thing, so we can preview the sectional in more depth. So for now, I'm Jared Jernigan.
King Gardner.
See you next week.